Sound production.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It is your boy Sirius. Welcome to my live stream that I'm doing right now. And I believe that this will be an interesting conversation because honestly, not too many people in the manosphere talk about this current subject. But before we get into that, Happy New Year's Eve. This is the last day in 2022. And I'm sure that it went pretty fast or it took forever to get to this point, depending on what happened in your lives this year. But it's been a crazy year, to be honest. And once again, I'm not looking forward to 2023. I'm really not. I'm not looking forward to that shit. Based on what's happening right now around the world, things may get crazier next year. So I'm not saying don't have a good time, but make sure you are still aware of the problems that we're going to have to face in the future. That's it. That's all I got to say. I don't want to be a party pooper, but somebody has to say it. Somebody does. Oh, New Year resolution, new me, new this, new that. Motherfucker, we're on the brink of World War III. What about that? So this year was all right. You know, I think I did a pretty good job. I think. But next year, you guys got to buckle up because it might be a very, very bumpy ride. Very bumpy ride. I just had to say that, chat, because you already know not too many people are willing to keep it real of what's going on with the bigger picture. Okay, not what's going on with your dating, what's going on with your personal life or the community. Nah, what's happening right now will be affecting all of us. So just keep that in the back of your head. Just be prepared. That's all. Not saying you can't enjoy life. Just be prepared. But let me go ahead and address everybody right quick. I know there's Rusty Rivers. You know, he's doing his thing at work. What's going on? Frost was good. Hopefully you got your wrench because I did give it to you. Man, Utopia, what's going on? Steve Sanchez, Dragon Lord, Peter, what's up? Oh, he's dropping that straight up black pill. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but he's going straight to the point. Like the Joker in The Dark Knight Rises. He's ahead of the curve. God's doomer, nothing will happen. Well, they said the same thing in 1939. That's what they said in 1939. And then what happened not even a year after that? World War. So, yeah. What's going on, Sai? ZK Studios, Grinch, Hell the Skeleton King. I'm just a manifest of like alcohol and rage. That's pretty much what it is right now. I wouldn't say Skeleton King. That will be a cool title, not gonna lie. M Nemesis, I don't know if I already mentioned you, but hey, what's going on? Cuban Speed, once again, you're back. I always expect you to be here, always. And I appreciate your support, bro. I know there's Lego. Lego says, would you guys ever date an ugly femcel? No, because I got standards. I don't expect a Beyonce, but at the same time, I'm not going to be attracted to a 1 or 2. I'm just not. Right? Yeah, I don't feel bad about it either because once again, amount of women, even the below average amount of women will reject a guy because he's wearing the wrong color shoes. So yeah, I don't feel bad about it whatsoever. I got most people. David, what's going on? For no reason. I do see you in the chat often. What's going on, bro? I think I got everybody at this point. Let me scroll back down. Oh, damn. Cyrus, I just saw your stuff right now. What's going on, bro? What's going on? I know you could give some very insightful points if you decide to do it, because I know you don't really comment often, but when you do, it does create a very good conversation. So I'm glad that you're here. On top of that, I forgot to mention somebody that donated yesterday because we pretty much ended yesterday's stream and didn't realize that somebody donated. So a clever fish, thank you for your generous donation through Cash App. And he didn't really have a message. He just donated, so it's all good in the neighborhood. I don't really expect a message. You know, your actions itself speaks for itself. So thank you very much. Before I add in the Great Ghost, if you want to support your boy, the links is on top of the chat. Cash App /Soriutis. Any type of donation is appreciated if you feel that my content is good enough for your investment. Thank you very much. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the topic today, because I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation. The one, the only, Gray Ghost. What is going on, man?
Hey, good evening. Evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. Or I guess afternoon. We're not quite evening yet.
Well, how's your New Year's Eve so far?
Mostly just chasing off family and shaping up to be pretty quiet. If we wrap this up quickly, I may go out and play cards. I don't know.
Like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah. Now probably gonna be chilling, painting. Might do some video games, might not.
Well, it'd be like that sometimes. Like family, they just want to just set up camp in your place. I'm like, bro, I got plans. Like, go away. What the fuck? You know? Oh, wait, you gonna keep me up, bro? We family. Yeah, we could be a family another time. Get out of here. Get the fuck out. I see your face how many times compared to my boys once every week or two? We good, okay? We know that we family, we love each other, blah blah blah. But you need to leave. I'm just being like, hey, I'm just I like. You think that me as an adult we don't have plans? Like, come on, bro. Like, get out of here. I visit you at another time, but today I got some shit to do. You hate your family. Like, oh, quit your bitching.
Steve, there is no Canadian New Year's. New Year's is New Year's. It's not like China. Yet.
Steve, did you really ask that?
I mean, we got a different Thanksgiving, and Boxing Day is a holiday for us, where apparently it's not a thing in the U.S., so I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that's different is China, like what Gray said. So if you didn't know, I'm not gonna, go crazy on you.
Until they introduce that new feminist calendar that makes it on some sort of important female day, like, well, this is the day that the women got the vote. The calendar starts today.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're 10 years younger, based on this feminist calculator or calendar. We're 10 years younger. What do you mean? I'm not 35. I'm 25. But she got like clear like wrinkles in her face and shit.
You said you like 18-year-old. Well, I've been an 18-year-old for 5 years by the latest feminist calendar.
It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time.
Oh God, yeah.
But to start this conversation, right? The topic is her delusional utopia and society's dystopia. Hopefully you guys know the difference between utopia and dystopia, because that's where you guys are going to truly understand where we're coming from. When it comes to modern women today, majority of them, they live in their own tiny bubble. They live in their own world. Like, have you noticed if you ever get into some type of argument, dispute, or any type of altercation to where it's like, well, it's my truth. It's my truth. It's about how I feel. Like, bitch, who gives a fuck about your truth? It's the truth. The truth can't be disputed. But it's ridiculous. And countless modern women these days, they have that type of mentality, right? And it gets to the point where we got a bunch of women running around thinking that they're the princess of their own Disney utopia. They don't give a fuck, or they don't even realize that they're making everybody else's lives a living hell. But do they truly give a fuck at this point? Because nobody's going to hold them to negative consequences of their behavior. What do you say about that, Gray?
Well, the thing is, the negative consequences that they're used to experiencing is societal shaming. and that is controlled by women. So the only women that can give, like the only people that give consequences to women are other women.
Well, women is one thing, men is another.
But like
Don't look
what
at us
but
as
men don't
humans.
have the same political, like they don't have the same political or societal sway. Like if a man outright says something nasty about a woman, the man is far more likely to receive backlash from society than the woman is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They don't even look at men as humans. So why would they give a fuck? You know, yeah, it's one thing that they're getting called out by the sisterhood, but it's another thing where the men that they only see as like walking ATMs or a sperm dispenser, why are you talking? Like shut up. Like here's another example, chat, which I'm gonna say as well. There's countless situations, countless videos, countless on all these media platforms where men clearly state what we want. We clearly state it. And there's not that many points. We clearly state what the fuck we want in a relationship. Guess what these model women do? Guess what they do? They tell you, a man, that you don't know what you want as a man, and I am going to tell you what a real man is. Does that make any fucking sense? It doesn't to me. It makes no sense at all. And yes, it is highly fucking annoying because a whole ass man is telling a woman what a man wants. Why? Why is he saying this? Because he's a fucking man and he knows what men want. But these modern women, as soon as they have any type of accountability or responsibility, or they had to put any type of effort to get a man, they completely shut a man down. And then they say, no, this is what a real man does. This is what a real man wants. Bitch, how the fuck do you know when you're not a man?
Well, no, it's funny because nowadays we're seeing men, trans women, fake period cramps, and even put frozen tomato juice up the pooper in order to simulate the bleeding. And women are getting so fucking pissed and getting so insulted. It's like, shoes on the other foot now, bitch.
Bro, what? Where did this even come from? That was so left field. Like you're not wrong, but goddamn, bro.
I'm just thinking, like, for talking about delusions, is like we have to deal with women's delusions, and now women have to deal with the delusions of trans women.
Even the chat's cut off guard. They're like, what the fuck? But at the end of the day, chat, at the end of the day, when it comes to dealing with a woman's utopia, I believe is very destructive, not only to the modern women themselves, but to everybody around them. Because especially if they have any type of relationship or any type of children, they're going to just live. What's that word that's called
vicariously?
Yeah, they're going to live vicariously in their children and literally fucking use their children to feed their delusion. If you guys get what I'm talking about.
Well, not even like amongst the family, I heard them talking today about this one woman who'd had kids like at a somewhat decent age, late teens, early 20s. And he was hanging out with a bunch of her single friends, and then was like, I think I had kids too early. I'm thinking, like, this is what happens when like mothers hang around whores.
Man, they always want to regret something.
Well,
when
no,
they
the
see
thing
something
is,
better.
That's the thing. It's because they're hanging around with whores. Like, they wouldn't be saying that if they were hanging around, proper women and mothers. Instead, no, I hang around whores. I regret that I can't be a whore like my friends.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I agree. But they always want to regret when they see something They believe that the grass is green on the other side.
Well, they want to be victims.
This is why that they are the ones that should be chilling in the house. That, like, honestly, if they go to work, yeah, sure, go to work, but besides that, they should be chilling in the house. Because honestly, once again, there's a difference between controlled hypergamy and uncontrolled hypergamy. You already know what happens with uncontrolled hypergamy, chat. You see it all the time. When they're out here going left and right, thinking that reality is just like Sex in the City, they end up alone and promiscuous. There's plenty of examples on the internet. Go to my fucking channel. Go to my channel and watch my videos. So that can't be disputed. Because I'm not the only channel with these videos. So when it comes to that, chat, you already know that modern women, they have the tendency to purposely, which I don't fucking get to this day, right? But the female logic, if you want to call it that, is fucking confusing. They always want to shoot themselves in the foot. Always. They purposely do that. Not by accident, not by somebody else. They do it to themselves. You good, Gray?
Yeah. No, just shuffling around looking for shit.
Okay, yeah. They want to purposely do it to themselves, Chad. See, that's where a woman's delusional utopia becomes society's dystopia. Because look at what's going on in society because of modern women believing that they can do whatever they want. The most atrocious acts, the most filthy, the most disgusting acts as possible that a woman can do and expect no consequences behind it. Sure, they themselves don't have to deal with consequences, but what about society as a whole? So, for example, you already know about men going their own way. You already know about red pill. What's the consequences of men saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to focus on me. Fuck what society has to say. Businesses are shutting down. A lot of jobs are not being filled. And even though it's not really apparent, there's more and more jobs that maintain society and keep society running. More and more men are walking away from that too. And on top of that, when there's a bunch of simps and white knights, at least years ago, more and more men are not trying to be a Captain Save-A-Ho anymore. And that's why we are the ones that are being plastered throughout mainstream media. Because men choosing to do nothing is very fucking bad for society. But as soon as we call out a woman's her delusional mindset, I guess we're misogynist, I guess we're racist, I guess we're sexist, or anything that they can say to justify their stupidity.
Yeah, chauvinism's the word that the older crowd uses. Like, oh, you're a chauvinist? Oh, you're one of those chauvinists? Like, I have a grasp on reality, yes. Like, I think this stuff should not be difficult to get. Like, all you have to do is realize that most of what you know is from television. And that's the thing. Most of these guys, they have their fucking anecdotal experiences and the stuff that they just absorb via the media, television, etc. And they never question it.
They never do.
And when you make them question it by providing an alternative mode of thought, then they get angry and aggressive.
And this is where I have a question for the chat. Everybody in the chat, put a 1 if you ever heard a woman, right? Whether you were nearby an argument or you were in an argument with a woman, have you ever heard? Put a 1 if you heard a woman say, "It's not about what you said; it's how you said it."
Heck, I hear that from guys.
No, that okay. If that's the case, then they're fucking bitches.
Yes.
But
I'm not challenging that, but like I'll hear
it's all
that from
good.
guys too, and it's like just fucking Christ.
It's all good. But I'm saying with women, put a 1 in the chat if you heard a woman say, "Well, it's not about what you said, even though you're right. It was how you said it that hurt my feelings, and that's why I'm angry and crying right now." Because it's never about the truth when it comes to women. Once again, gentlemen, we made that stream I think last week around there, where they love those beautiful lies. They love that shit. As long as it makes them feel good, that's all that matters. That's it. So that's where their delusion gets out of control when it comes to society. Because nobody wants to hurt their feelings, even though it's the truth. And that is very damning for society overall to function. Yeah, I know. Like men, it's not like men chooses not to hold women accountable. We have our hands tied behind our back because the state backs them up in their shenanigans.
Well, it's the consequences for holding a woman accountable outweigh the benefits of holding a woman accountable.
Which is why I say, like, the state has the men's hand ties behind their back. Because they know that, hey, you know, if you step one side of the line, you're not going to have a good time. So men, they have no choice. So they know this. They have the hindsight. Like, hey, I can't do shit, so I'm just not going to say anything. So that's why I don't really put men responsible too much. I really don't.
It'd be like if every time you swatted a mosquito, someone came up and stabbed you. It's like, okay, well, then I'm not going to shank any more mosquitoes. I'm not going to stab any more mosquitoes. But now you've got the issue where you got a shit ton of fucking mosquitoes going around and everyone's getting malaria. Like, well, what are we going to do about these mosquitoes? I don't know. I'm just going to avoid mosquitoes because killing them is just going to get me killed. So screw it.
Exactly. And I agree with Unbound Soul. Facts over feelings. Like, I'm sure you guys yourselves, or you seen an argument where you see a bunch of dudes or just like a couple of dudes, they possibly will get into each other's face for opposing views, like yelling and screaming at each other's faces, like if they're that passionate enough. Are we not friends anymore? No. Or do we hate each other? No. Are we going to spread rumors? No. Are we going to fight? Possibly. But we're not mad if you're telling the truth. It's just that I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're saying. So let me give you my perspective. We are very direct. We are very confrontational when it comes to ideals and etc. But when it comes to women, oh yeah, feelings definitely trump facts. Why do you think that women are not okay? Why do you think that women are not even honest with themselves? More importantly, they're not even honest with other women. They're not honest. They're not. I guarantee you, put two women together and tell one woman to rate the other woman, and you can't use 10, you can't use 7, you can't use 8 either. Fuck it.
They're gonna say 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, like they're not gonna say shit. I'm like, be completely honest, and I'm gonna make sure that there's a crowd around so they can agree with her decision or not. Unbiased crowd. Because the only way that she'll be honest if she has no choice but to be honest. But it's either she's gonna be honest or she's not gonna say anything. Oh, it's hard. Oh, I don't want to judge her. Oh, they're all beautiful in their own way. Okay, bitch. I don't care. Give me an honest opinion about this woman that's 5'2", 170 pounds.
Oh, she's a queen.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they're not even honest with themselves and with each other, do you really think that they're going to be very beneficial when it comes to societal decisions or influence? Like you sure about that? Like, come on, chat. We gotta think this through. And yeah, it's not all women, but majority of them, including family members. Do you really think that they're living in the real world, at least before the wall? Do you really think that they're living in the reality? Because I'll tell you, absolutely fucking not. They're not living in reality. And overall, long term, is going to hurt society as a whole, especially if they decide to have 3, 4, 5, 6 kids with 4 different baby daddies. Because the dads are not around, most likely. And now she's raising masculine daughters or very feminine sons. You have to understand, Chad. Their decisions are affecting society right now to where it's at. Because it has never been an issue until 1960 something, where modern feminism came in. Come on, Chad. If anybody still believes in feminism or believe that feminism has a place in society, you're going to have a rude awakening.
Hey, to be fair, the garbage bin is technically a place in society.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But, chat, us as men as a whole, and yeah, I know you guys aren't simps, to my knowledge, but majority of simps out there, they're enabling this fucking delusional mindset that women have, and overall, it fucks up society, especially in the Black community. If you don't believe me, look at Baltimore, look at Chicago, look at Compton, look at Miami, look at Houston, and how much violence and shit goes amongst each other. And majority of the people that are committing all these violence, right? I'm talking about gang members. They came from a single mother household. But they don't want to talk about that. They don't.
Well, it's funny.
I forgot about Portland too. So
now it's funny. You can get people to agree that most crime comes from single mother households, so long as you frame it as the underlying cause being poverty.
Poverty, my ass. Poverty, my ass. Because if they still had a father in the household, and you're definitely correct, Gray. But if they had a father in the household, poor or not, they definitely will have way more structure. Like it'll be way less likely for them to turn to a life of crime.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the thing. You can get the average normie to agree that most criminals come from single mother households, so long as you don't say that is the reason, but instead frame it as like, well, lower income area largely comes from single mother households tends to correlate. They're like, oh yeah, because single mothers would be poor. Yeah, that does make sense. So you can kind of plant the seed of it right there, but if you push any further, then you're going to get some pushback.
Exactly. And don't get me started on the double standards that only benefits them, gentlemen. Like, there's only 1 or 2 double standards that men have over women. I know one of them is when it comes to smashing a lot of chicks. Yeah, we're praised for it, and they're called 304s. Okay, I can agree with that double standard. But what else besides that? What other double standards that men have that they benefit?
Yeah. To which I would point out, well, women shame men for not having sex, and they shame women for being virgins. So
Oh shit! They shame men for having sex and not having sex.
no, I don't
Both.
know. I don't know. I haven't. Like I've
Do you know,
seen,
do you
like
know how many
like
times they
those.
call us incels?
What's the thing they call? The thing like incels are imply that the man doesn't have sex.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Meanwhile,
That's the
like
shaming part.
that's the thing. But like a woman who is a virgin will also get shamed by women.
I'm not disagreeing with that part. I agree. But I'm just saying when it comes to men, they're both shamed for not having sex and also having a lot of sex. No sex, a lot of sex. There's no in between for some goddamn reason.
It's proportionate. Like a woman is far more likely to call a man a virgin as an insult than a whore as an insult.
Whoa. They know being called a whore as a man has no effect. They go, okay. I get plenty of bitches. All right, thank you. I'll accept that compliment.
Yeah.
But
but they know, because if a man, they know that if a man is getting a lot, then they want him.
true, but at the same time, they want to call all men, right, according to their minds, dogs, perverts. They only want one thing only, which is true. And then they will turn around and call men that aren't getting any, oh, who hurt you? You don't get bitches. Oh, you're an incel. You're this and this and that. So there's literally no win unless you're Chad and Tyrone. Because they won't insult you at all. It is funny. It's hilarious.
They might call you a chauvinist or a misogynist.
You weren't saying that when you were hopping on the schlong yesterday, like.
Well, that's when I was on Twitter, not OnlyFans.
Like, just see when it comes to chat, like I'm telling you right now, it's. I know they spew a lot of bullshit, which pretty much prove our point with this topic today, right? Her delusional utopia. They always want to project, always want to say as much things as possible to put the man down, but then she will turn around and get her cheeks clapped by that very same man. It's that's why we say pay attention to the actions, chat. Don't listen to what they have to say, because like 99% of the time is bullshit, which is true. Because they go off of feelings, and feelings are fleeting.
And God, can you imagine a political system where it is literally, okay, women, what laws do you feel like having today?
Oh God. Okay. Oh no. I have to think about that for no. That would be so. That will be a complete fucking. That'd be the worst possible dystopia. That will be the worst possible dystopia.
I think it'd just be straight up The Purge with an asterisk, like The Purge, unless she says no.
They will wipe out all average men, and then keep Chad Tyrones as work slaves.
Oh no, that's the thing. Like then you get into things where like, well, no, like I want this man to die because he's with a woman that I oppose. Like, well, I want him to live because he's with me, and then you'd have basically all disputes settled via cat fight because the men would have no authority.
Like literally, like, see, and let me tell you, Chad, like this isn't a new idea. This situation to have superiority over men, it's been around long before I was born. There was movies and TV shows about women running society, and then the men are slaves, labor slaves.
Like actually, there's this one RTS game where like it's the Amazonians and that's the human faction, and literally all the men do is work out, be pretty, and fuck.
This goes for the women.
No, these are the men. The
Oh,
women
the
are
men.
the ones who actually do all the work. The men literally are barred from work. All they do is go to the gym, look pretty, and fuck. Because it's an Amazonian society, so it's flipped on its head.
See, that's the thing, right? See, that's where all these feminist bitches, they don't understand. Do you really think that men are going to complain about that? I don't think men will complain about that personally. I'm sure a lot of men out there will be like, "Oh, okay, I get to, just sit down, eat some food, and
Until the women go like, no, you're supposed to complain, and then the men will go like, okay, guys, we gotta make it look like we don't like this. Like we're horribly oppressed, and we really, really don't like this situation, and we'd like to be out of it, but not too hard, otherwise they might actually do it.
like, oh, this is horrible. I want to go back to work. Oh, wee! Like just like going fucking
Going to
nuts.
the gym every single day. It's just so taxing on me.
I don't want to work out.
Like my chest hurts from flexing all day.
This is the third time you wanted to have sex, woman. When are you going to let me have a break? I'm just not a piece of meat. Like I doubt 99% of men will complain about that. Like, come on, Chad.
Honey,
Come
I
on.
just wanted a little bit of side catch for some extra body oil. I swear I didn't mean to work. It's just that Steve over there, like his wife gives him a body oil allowance, and he's always glistening in the sun.
Let me address this random comment. Ant-Man says they're going to say you're fat phobic if you don't think Lizzo's say. See, and that's where okay, I was going to get to that as well. Honestly, this is where the delusional utopia comes in. Anytime that women do not want to put effort in anything, they want to put some type of random fucking made up word in or change the definition of the very word. So this word was made up, fatphobic. But the other things such as misandry or feminism, they love to make up their own definitions to make themselves not look bad. Even though the definition is a definition. Like, why are you busy always consistently changing the definition, the words, your very situation itself? Because I'm sure, Gray, you've seen videos, or I don't know if you dealt with it yourself, where you caught a woman in 4K doing something bad, and then she makes up a whole fucking scenario in her head to justify what she did when you caught her in 4K.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you got a lot. You saying a whole lot of nothing. Cause I saw what I saw. It doesn't need all these words. It doesn't need an explanation. But this happened and that happened, and I was very traumatized at 13 years old and blah blah blah. Like, bitch, what? You still did what you did. Like, what's the point of your backstory? Oh, but this happened and that happened, and I was coerced by my sisterhood, by my besties, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You did what you did. Why are you trying to justify it? That's what I'm saying. The delusional utopia.
Yeah, and of course we know that they're doing it because they care more about societal standing. Because for them, it's not about what you do; it's about how society perceives you. Remember, the female fantasy is to be a fucking horrible person and get away with it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's the overall goal, at least how I perceive it in 2022. women wants to get away with the most vile, the most promiscuous, the most atrocious behavior, and still look good in the eyes of society.
Ugh.
Like
Like
you got
legit, how?
you got the 2020 flu.
No, it's the and dust in the air shit.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Gonna have to go on the purge. But that's what I'm saying, Chad. When it comes, like, I'm telling you, when it comes to 99% of women, they do not like accountability or responsibility. And that's where all this, see, at this point, I'm just going out there and say it. The state uses women as a weapon against men.
Yep.
Like, do you guys agree, chat? Put a one in the chat if you agree that the state uses women as a weapon against men in 2022.
Wesley, I'd go and dive a bit deeper into that because that is true in the broad sense, but how they use the weapon is as motivation to get other men to do what they want. Because a woman on her own can't do anything, but a woman can summon men to do shit for her. So, like, if the government says what you're saying is upsetting to us, men by and large don't care. But if they say, oh, well, what you're saying is upsetting towards women, well, that gets all the fucking simps, cucks, and white knights up in arms.
Well, when you put it that way, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. So by controlling what women do and do not like, the government is able to shift the opinion of weak-willed men to be pro-government. But these men think that they're doing it to be pro-women. And since the women just get to do whatever the hell they want with impunity, they don't give a shit.
Agree, because, for example, one example on why I have this mindset, right? Who gets the majority of the time? Who gets the custody of the kids? Women, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, you see a lot of influx of single mothers or women in alphabet community relationships opposing this delusional utopia, this delusional mindset of, oh, my child is 2 years old, but even though it's a boy, it's a girl now. I know my child. And then they go through all these hormonal, injections and castration and blah, 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 which I believe it is sadistic, beyond evil, demonic.
Yeah. Now, and here's the thing. Like, I look back and that shit could have very easily applied to me when I was there, because when I was 5, like fucking 5 years old, Sailor Moon was on television during the time slot when I was able to watch television. And so I ended up watching a fair bit of Sailor Moon, and I thought it was neat. And one Christmas, I asked for some fucking Sailor Moon merch for Christmas.
Sailor Moon is a good show.
The thing is, back then, that was a phase, and the parents thought I'd grow out of it, which, I did. And I'm sure that they made the fucking Sailor Moon merch disappear as quietly as they could when I got bored of it. Nowadays, that should be would be grounds to get me on hormone blockers and put me in dresses.
Agree. Like, see, chat, the only reason why I think it is getting very fucking demonic at this point is because we got people in positions of power having this type of delusion. I'm talking about the people in the medical field that are saying, "Oh, we're child sex therapists and all this stuff," which is very weird in itself, right? That is some, you should go to jail at that point.
Yeah,
but
it's not at all that they're getting kickbacks from the pharmaceutical companies.
Well, that as well. But now governments are having enough power, because there was this one thing that I think was in Britain, where the child was taken off life support, and the state ordered that to happen. The child. The parents want the child to stay on on life support, but the state went ahead and said, "Fuck what you say. Take that child off of life support." That should be very scary to you guys.
And that's when everyone's like, well, socialized medicine is great. It's like, yeah, I love having the government decide whether or not my child lives or dies.
And guess what? Like, and once again, Chad, I know you already know, but do you really believe that a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6, 7, whatever it is, do you really think they know what sexual orientation really is, or they're just soaking up the information from media outsources,
Like,
and they're surrounded by what's up?
Like at the younger age, at most you might think that the opposite gender is like gross or whatever. Like fucking kids are basically repulsed from the other gender at that age, and they don't actually start to be interested in anything more than friendship, like until the fucking hormones kick in.
Agree. Dr. Fourth Wall, I'll look for it. I'll post it on my community post if I can find the article. But it happened.
I'll look for it.
So based on that chat, they believe that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old has enough knowledge to accept life-altering procedures. Not a little phase, life-altering. To the point where you really can't come back from this. And then they wonder why this certain community has one of the highest rates of eating themselves. Think on that, gentlemen. And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Okay. Found it. Name's Alfie. Terminally ill British boy taken off life support dies.
Well, that was off the word of the government, right? Because the dad was mad. I remember the news video.
So the hospital decided in December 2017 there was no chance for recovery and moved to remove Alfie from life support. A decision challenged in court by his parents. The court sided with the hospital.
But I'm like, hold on. Like there were people, or even though it's a low percentage, there were people that were able to pull through that. You know? And personally, it should be up to, in my opinion, it should be up to the parents.
Yeah. Well, then there's another one where a ill 2-year-old girl in England, where there's an American dad there, and I haven't been able to see the conclusion to this, but again, it's the government who's let's see. Yeah, the English courts backed the medical expert's decision to let Alta die. So
which I believe is bullshit, because I know they're willing to pay the finances, pay the costs.
Archie Battersby's. That's probably the one you're thinking of. Archie Battersby. So that's the thing. It's not just one. Like, just me looking up UK child order off life support by government. Like, I'm already finding like three right off the bat.
Oh, I didn't know there was 3. Okay.
But I think that's just what I'm looking for from a cursory search. I'm not even going in depth or what I consider deep research. That's literally just me doing the bare basics.
But that's what you need to understand, chat. That's what you need to understand. Right now, in 2022, the government has a hold of your children a lot stronger than you think. Yes, a lot stronger than you think. All it takes is one phone call away, from a random person or the child itself for them to get taken to child protective services. And even then, child protective services are not a good system because now the child is possibly going to be lost within the system, going to foster care homes, which is known for doing very bad things.
Well, that's the thing. Who do you think are going to be more likely, like what percentage of foster care parents are, oh, they're just parents who couldn't have a child naturally and are looking to raise and adopt one? Or do you think it's going to be like, if we pose as a couple, we get access to children?
Pretty much. And I think the CPS, if you have that in your resume, you get some type of, merit. Or
Yeah, you know that
promotion or-
you can't spell CPS without CP.
I shouldn't laugh about that, but you're not wrong. That's literally
you
what it
either
is.
laugh or you cry about that kind of shit.
Because they like the CPS system. They're definitely a lot more evil than you guys know. Like there's some evil motherfuckers. Evil. So, but back to the topic at hand, chat. They literally let these young ass kids, and they're enabling it, and they're letting these kids go into the hospital. What makes it worse is you as a man, there's nothing you can do, especially if you're divorced and you don't have custody of your child. The mother, with her delusional fucking mindset, because she wants to go full-blown misandry feminist, wants to take the child to do some type of hormone therapy and reconstruction.
Oh, let's be honest.
Procedure.
She'd do it just for fucking Twitter clout. Glitter twat.
But she will mainly do it out of spite. I think they mainly do it out of spite as well to the child's father.
Certainly an option.
But the biggest thing that I'm trying to say is, chat, is when it comes to this delusion, how is this not fucking up society as a whole? How? More and more of these situations are happening. It's growing every day. All for what? This like what Grace said, for social media clout? Because she really believes in her feminist indoctrination ideals? Is it because she hates her dad that probably wasn't there? That she had trauma when she was younger with her single mother? Now we got to the point where they really believe that they can.
Her single mother let her boyfriend babysit, and now she hates men.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They really believe that children are in their rights to create decisions that they cannot reverse. And that's why the people in the alphabet community, especially with the trans, are yeeting themselves left and fucking right.
Yeah, as I would defy someone to justify. So you really think that all of these trans operations are good for the kids and good for their mental health when they're eating themselves as soon as they hit their 40s in record numbers?
It's about how I feel. It's my truth. That's usually their excuse.
Yeah, because you know that if they said like, oh, hey, 40% of those who get converted back from homosexuality yeet themselves a couple decades later, you know they'd fucking use that to shut down gay conversion therapy.
Agreed. But at the same time, that will go against the narrative, right? Of what's going on.
That's the thing. Like, they're only going to admit to the bad shit when it is done by people who oppose their ideals. They don't have any objective care about any of this.
Now, don't get me wrong. They'll admit they're wrong like 60 to 80 years from now. Where we all like, long dead
when they can make the excuse that they were young and foolish and indoctrinated. Like, they'll admit they're wrong, as soon as they don't have to take responsibility for it.
Yeah. Are we talking about the state? The state will admit that they're wrong 60 to 80 years from now, but most of us are dead.
Yeah, just like how we go like, oh hey, how lobotomies were a terrible practice. How could we ever have allowed lobotomies to become so normalized in society? It's like, well, I look around right now to be like, well, we're doing horrible shit to people right now, and anyone who speaks up is getting shut down. So I'm willing to bet that's how it was with lobotomies.
Especially with the Tuskegee experiment, when they injected a good amount of African Americans with, I think it wasn't I have to look that up, but they injected African Americans with some type of disease, some type of illness. Let me see. I was thinking syphilis, right? Yep, syphilis. See, look at that. I didn't want to be wrong, Chad. I didn't want to look like a fucking idiot. Yeah, it was syphilis. Now,
oh god, Chronic just being fucking savage right there.
where? They just didn't treat the. But yeah, I agree with Under Chronic, but there were still people that were subjected to horrendous experiments.
Oh yeah, no question of that. But oh god, can you? Now I'm wondering. Okay, so you know how there's all this like fucking HIV bullshit, right?
Yeah. Before you continue, yeah, you're right. Under Chronic, there weren't. Okay. They were injected, but for the most part, they definitely weren't treated at the same time because, like what the Tuskegee experiment said, they were subjected to experiments and no cure. So, yeah, it's a fucked up situation. It's a fucked up situation. You know, I agree.
Well, now I'm wondering,
agree?
Are we going to find out down the line that part of the reason that HIV got out so far was because some of these people who thought that they were getting like treatment that suppressed the propagation and made them safe, quote unquote, was actually just a placebo?
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
That's the thing. We wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Because back then, scientists and doctors, they were beyond unethical.
As opposed to now.
I know in the Tuskegee experiment, they were injected with something. But majority of the time, they were just untreated and they would just have to go through a horrible tests. So, Under Chronic says the worst experiment the give did to black people was feminism. Agreed.
Yeah,
I completely agree with Under Chronic. That shit. We are the end result. The black community are the end result of feminism in 2022. Look at how the black community is right now. Look how we operate. We are in disarray. There's no community, even though we call it community. It's all about
there's no
violence,
community.
death.
There's only communita.
Communita, yes, but there's only violence, death, sex, drugs. We kill each other every day in very high record rates.
Not even rock and roll. It's rap now.
Exactly. We have the highest rate of single motherhood. By the same time, we have the highest rate of black men being virgins. So you know that these women that became single mothers, they were fucking the same dudes. So I agree with Under Chronic. I agree with him. But nobody wants to talk about it, right? Because, oh, you're racist. Like, shut up, bitch.
Mr. Lucky, feminism wasn't directed at the blacks. Early on, it was. It absolutely was,
Mr.
specifically
Lucky,
to
what the
destroy
fuck?
Black Wall Street.
Mr. Lucky, you gotta read your history books, bro. You
Like-
gotta study up.
Like, it might not have started, but absolutely the wave of feminism in the 60s and whatnot, that was injected into the black community first as a testing ground for like the white community and larger population.
Modern feminism infecting black women is the epitome of the topic that we talk about today. The delusional utopia that they were instilled this ideal that the father in the household was not needed. We were one of the first, right? The black community in the United States. We got fucked in the ass by feminism since the 1960s and onwards. I know there's other reasons, right? I know the crack epidemic and all that other stuff, but feminism was a precursor to that.
Yeah, because like in order to get control, first they had to destroy the wealth. It wasn't the feminism of we need to give them the vote. We need to let them work. No, it was we need to get the men out of the house brand of feminism. That was injected into the black community first.
Well, Mr. Lucky, I'm black too. I'm black as fuck. I'm not wrong. like I'm glad. Hey, if you could bring any information to disapprove what we have to say, I am ready to read that information, and I will admit that I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I will.
You got to get a little more specific than just saying "nuh-uh, I'm black." Like that is not an argument.
Well, Mr. Lucky says the government already had its hand on the blacks' throat with welfare. Well, who truly benefited from the welfare?
And that's the thing. Like the welfare came after Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was the blacks getting out of the welfare, and then the black community was like, wow, all our generational wealth got wiped out in the exact same time period that all the women kicked all the men out of the house through a series of divorce. I wonder if the primary ideology that requires removing men from the household played any part in that.
I got to stop you right there. Under Chronic, you got to relax, bro. Honestly, I can't even put this up on the screen. You gotta relax, Chronic. God damn, bro.
God damn.
I don't know if that's a compliment or a roast or both. Like, come on. I never even heard that type of joke before. God damn. I don't even know how to feel about that. God damn. But what we're saying is, Mr. Lucky, is we've done our research when it comes to how the black community got destroyed in the first place, right? I know it's been happening since the early 1900s, but the part where everything went completely wrong correlates when modern feminism came about. Yeah, I know about Black Wall Street being destroyed. Yeah, that's fucked up and all that stuff. But early 1960s and onwards, it went completely downhill, downward spiral for the black community. I'm not wrong.
No, that was very much the tipping point to the end right there, because they actually had a fucking shot of getting out of it. And then they got fucking kiboshed. One generation, like, fuck.
Right. And yeah, welfare has been created long before the 1960s. I think it's little over 30 years prior.
Yeah,
to
like
the 1960s.
Basically, like World War I, then women get the vote, then the welfare state is created.
I think FDR is the one that created the welfare.
Yeah.
But after the modern feminism came about and fathers are being kicked out of the household, who truly benefited from the welfare? Not the fathers. They were making too much for the most part. I'm talking about in general.
No, that's the thing.
What's up?
It's going to be like the ones who benefit most from the welfare are going to be the ones least likely to make their own money. And that's going to be women. Now, normally women get around this by not having to work because they have a man in the house. But when they kick that man out of the house, and then every other man looks at them like, oh, shit, she fucked up the last man and she got kids. I ain't touching that.
Exactly.
You know, back when men had a little higher standards than they do today.
So they use welfare as a substitute for not having a man in the house. So who truly benefits? Come on, chat. Come on. But the big thing is modern feminism was a precursor. That it was the spark that started the demise of the Black community. And that's my opinion, right? I'm not going to say I'm 100% correct, but the information, you know, that you get from historical facts, that's where I got it from.
Yeah. Again, like open to being wrong, but we need to see some pretty significant evidence that it's something else.
IY fan has a question. He says, "Hey, Yidis, which would you rather eat, bugs or shrooms?" I'd rather starve to death. I'd much rather go to ketosis and live off my body fat, and then eventually muscles, and then die.
Yeah, Eunice is like, would you rather eat bugs or shrooms? Arm.
Yeah, that we talked about this yesterday too.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck all that, man. I will, man. Come on, man. Yeah, you know how much I don't like mushrooms.
Come on, man. Why you got to go all corn pop on me?
But I am going to do my last chill because, once again, this is a chill stream. It's not too crazy, too serious. If you want to support your boy, the link is on top of the chat. Cash App /SirUtis. Any donation is appreciated if you feel that my content is good enough for your investment. And I know somebody just donated to me. It is Mr. Pliskin. Thank you for your generous donation. And he says, have a drink, steak, or blunt on me. Oh, goddamn right. I'm going to be eating good today. I already got my drink ready, but I'm going to eat real good today. I'm ready. Because who knows if Putin decides to go fucking nuts tomorrow. Or Kim Jong-un. And just start like pressing red buttons everywhere.
Or Xi Jinping. Can't count out China from being the first one to press the button.
That would be an E2 Brute situation. I'm talking about economic brothers.
God, did you see that community post by Hammerhead recently, actually? The one about Taiwan?
Yes. That's a real hard.
Yeah, God, it's like everything we hold dear. Feminism, gay rights, abortion rights. Like, I didn't think I'd be cheering for China in this situation. And yet, damn.
Like, I've never been to Taiwan, to my knowledge. I know I haven't been to Taiwan, so I didn't realize it was that bad.
Like by God, it's the feminists versus the communists. Damn.
And I didn't know it was that westernized. You know, I shouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, the president is saying all that. I'm like,
yeah. It's like, well, you know what? Maybe there's a reason that y'all are a bunch of pussies. You're getting your ass stomped by communists. You know.
Exactly. And Sleepy Joe, I agree, how fan. He says, I think Sleepy Joe is more likely to shoot up a nuke than either of those. Yeah, I agree. Like, he will push a button thinking that, you know, that's the way he can get his ice cream. but he literally ended the world.
Oh, why'd you have to put the ice creams behind a secret code and 2 keys, man? I had to call in 2 separate guys in order to open the briefcase where you keep my Coca-Cola.
I just wanted my vanilla ice cream with sprinkles. I just
And
wanted that.
and the joke was, and you see, this is why I installed the one button for Coca-Cola. I just press one button and a Coca-Cola comes in. And they called me mad.
Oh shit, that's too fucking hilarious, man. But okay. I didn't really let you. Do you have any input, like any example or any type of, you know, opinion when it comes to the delusional utopia as society's dystopia?
Well, I guess, yeah, we talked about this briefly off stream yesterday, but what gets me is when you find men believing in this kind of stuff. Like, it's one thing if a woman believes in it, like, you can't, like, they only have so much power, but it's the men who, they're not just playing along. They genuinely believe that, oh, well, men are stronger, therefore women must be smarter. Oh, men are good at focusing, therefore women must be good at multitasking. How do I know this? Well, I saw it on the television. I was told to by someone with a British accent. Therefore, it must be true. I know a woman smarter than me. Therefore, women in general must be smarter than men. It's like, nah, bitch, you're just dumb. You're just stupid. And then you get these men, like, because this is what happens. This is the consequence when a man genuinely thinks a woman is smarter than him. Because then you'll have a man who will seriously consider an issue. And he'll think it through and consider it out and weigh all the options. And then he'll ask a woman for her opinion. And she'll consult her feelings for half a second and give out the answer. And the man will think that that is a more valid opinion than his carefully considered logic, simply because a woman said it.
Great, we're gonna have to cut this short because Hammerhand and Undead Crown is gonna be live. I think he's live right now.
Oh, damn. All right. Well,
they did me dirty.
Hey, we got a couple hours of the chill stream in, so it's all good.
It's pretty good. But everybody, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be doing a collab.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. But head over to Chronic stream and Hammerhand stream. I'm gonna be over there as well. But any last thoughts, Gray?
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm probably going to be spending tonight painting green skins. So y'all have a good time.
Exactly. Happy New Year's as well for me. And if I do have time, I'll do a quick little stream before, the New Year comes in. If I have time, I'll let you guys know for sure. But right now, head over because I always love Hammerhand stream. Always. He has a lot of facts. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you everybody that donated today. And also, hopefully you enjoy the gems that me and Gray dropped on you. Because this is a pretty short stream, not gonna lie. And if we have time, we'll definitely post up another stream later on tonight. If we have time.
And I've got a plan for a stream come the new year as well. So
exactly.
You guys ain't going to be running out of content. And actually, one last thing. Thank you, everyone. I am now at over 1,000 stubs, almost at 1050. So thanks to everybody who shouted me out and subbed and made sure that Susan didn't unsub them. I appreciate it.
Bingo. The Warband, me, Rishi, Hammerhand, etc. We are always going to give you guys all this content. So we are out. Peace.
Peace out, everyone.